Okay, so maybe you want to breed guppies and you're wondering if you need any special setups and that sort of thing to successfully breed them and get little fry swimming around in your aquarium. By the way, baby fry mean baby fish. Well, you've come to the right place, because in today's video I'm going to be giving you 3 methods to breeding guppies, and these are all pretty successful ways, and I've tried all 3 of them before. I'll tell you which ones I've had success and which ones I've not, but make sure you stick around to the end so you don't miss out on any important info, and consider subscribing as I do weekly aquarium videos just like this. But without any further ado, let's get started. Alrighty, so before we do get into the 3 methods, I just want to give you a quick brief over on the guppy fish. So guppy fish are a very popular aquarium fish, really easy to find, and there's 2 main types you can find out there. You have the endless guppies and the common guppies. Endless guppies and guppies, they're all really the same. When you're breeding them, they're really easy. Just when it comes to care, endless guppies are a bit hardier than your normal guppies, because the normal guppies have been overbred, and usually you'll find your endless guppies quite closer to their genetics of being in the wild than what it would be for your common guppies. But I recommend, if you do really want to get success with breeding your guppies and you're a beginner and you just want something easy to keep anyway, I recommend you try go with the endless guppies, because they are still really colorful and beautiful, and they're a lot smaller, which means they can go all the way down to 5 gallons, but they also sometimes give birth to even more fry. But to tell male and females with guppies, this applies to all live bearers, but basically you got to look at the anal fin, which is that fin that's closest to the anus. Basically the females will be triangular and fanned out, whereas you'll have the male, which is stick-like and quite pointy. So the male's anal fin is called the gonopodium, in case you want to know. So guppies are live bearers, meaning they give birth to live young, so they're not going to lay eggs, and that takes out a whole process, which is really annoying when breeding egg layers. So that's why this fish is best for beginners when breeding them, but it's really easy to raise the fry just off powder foods and that sort of thing. But with that all aside, let's get into the 3 methods of breeding the guppies, and I hope you enjoy it, and let's get into it. Okay, so the first method we have is called the breeding box method. So it's really simple. Once your female guppy is pregnant, and by the way, I did a video on how to tell if a guppy is pregnant and when she'll give birth. I'll leave the link to that video in the description if you want to check that out at the end. So what the breeding box method is you basically buy this little box. This is what it is right here. It's really handy. You can probably find it almost every place, but you can also get like a mesh version of this too. What's going to happen is you have this little divider in here. You just put it like right there. It's just going to float using the water and the current that's fresh in the water, so you're going to have healthy water for your fish. But so what's going to happen is you're going to put the female in, but before you do that, you're going to put this tray in. So what this tray is, since guppies do eat their own babies, which is cannibalism, but I mean all fish really do that, so when she's giving birth she won't eat the fry, because they're going to drop through these little gaps here, and they're going to be safe in the bottom part of the breeder box right there. I know it's not much room, but they're very small fish. They're only babies. So then once she's given birth to all of them, you take the female out, put her back into the community aquarium, and you do what you want from there with the fry. By the way, with the breeder box method, I haven't had much success using it, although the last time I did try it was years ago when I didn't really know much about telling how guppies are pregnant and stuff. I've really just used the next 2 methods in the last couple of years. Now let's move on to the next method, which doesn't include having to buy that. Okay, so method number 2 is probably my favorite. Now, just to let you know before we get into it, well, in this method you'll have a lot lower of a survival rate of your fry. So method number 2 is to simply just let the female guppy give birth. So you don't need to worry about telling if she's about to give birth or not. You just wait until you see fry swimming around at the top of the aquarium. So when the fry are born, they're going to go straight to the surface most of the time, but if they're strong enough swimmers, they're just going to be exploring throughout the tank. Now, the thing about this is that there's probably going to be lots of other fish in the tank to eat them. Now that is the thing, and how are you going to raise a fry if they're in there? Have lots of hiding places throughout the tank so that the fry can go in there. Have lots of plants or whatever, and make sure you have some floating plants, because they're going to go up to the top there. And then what you do from there is you net out the fry. So you just get a net. Usually the mesh should be small enough to be able to catch one of the fry. It is really hard, so what I recommend is just sneaking up and just taking a scoop straight away. It can be hard, or you can just leave the net sitting in the aquarium and let the fry just swim in, because they're that dumb. And with letting the guppy give birth naturally in the aquarium is probably the best option when you want them to naturally give birth, and let them give birth to the best quality fry you can get them to, is because she won't be stressed out when getting moved into a breeder box, and there won't be a likely chance of her aborting her fry, because that's what can happen if she's too stressed out. But also, when you let the female give birth naturally in the tank, only the strong swimmers will survive, and that's the ones that you really want. That's the good quality fry that are going to grow up to nice healthy guppies. Okay, method number 3 is a temporary breeding tank. Once your female guppy is ready to give birth, you're going to set up up a small 5-gallon, or it can be even smaller if you really want, but 5-gallon is my preference, and you can just have basically nothing in there. And once she's about to give birth, or you think she is, you move her into there, make sure the temperature's nice and warm too. We have a heater, sponge filter. Sponge filters are very gentle and they're not going to be able to fit through that fine sponge, won't they? Anyway, so you move her into the other aquarium, let her give birth. Usually if you have a 5-gallon, there's lots of room so the fry can just easily escape the mother, plus the mother will already be busy trying to give birth to more anyways. If you are going to do this method, I highly recommend you heavily feed her. Not too much though, don't pollute the tank, but just enough so that she won't feel like she'll have to eat the fry. Then from there you can take out the female and you can just raise the fry up in whatever tank you're using. That's really easy and straightforward, but once again it is involving moving a female guppy, so she could abort the fry. Always that slim chance, but still. In this aquarium I've kind of just got endler guppies in there. I just started a pair and I let them just breed, and I raised any fry with the parents and they just like raised up with the food I was feeding the parents. That's what I've got going on in here, and there's loads of fry. There's at least 30 or more, so that's telling you how fast guppies can breed, especially endler guppies. I've seen numbers explode in the tanks so much. Well, there you have my 3 methods for breeding guppies. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, give a thumbs up and subscribe. But have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video.